Yo, what's up, guys? It's your boy Taz, and welcome to another episode of the Crafted Podcast. We're going to take you behind the scenes of all the world's most excellently crafted people, places, and things. And today, it's just me kicking it with y'all. We got a solo action going on. ISO. So we got to let y'all know, man, what's going on in the world. What's going on with business, man. I always like to get it started with business. So let's talk about the real estate market. As you guys know, I do a little real estate project every now and then, and try to get my hands wet and try to get my feet dirty out there and get a little money rolling. So with that, it's been a minute since I've done a real estate project though. It's been at a standstill. Recently, the interest rates have been going up crazy. Federal Reserve is raising the interest rate. Our boy Jerome Powell, Jerome Rome in the house, y'all. I mean, he's got the interest rate going up crazy. So what the interest rate is how much interest that you're paying on the money that you're borrowing from the bank. So when you take out a home mortgage or a home loan, you pay what's called an interest rate. Now, back in the past, maybe like 2022, 2021, interest rates have been great, man. We're talking about 2%, 3%, just pennies on the dollar as compared to what it is right now. So right now, the interest rate is all the way up to about 7%. And with it being at 7%, it's much more expensive to purchase a home. So if you think about that, the difference between 2%, let's just take it to 8%. So if we're at 2%, it goes to 8%. That's literally 4x the amount of interest that you're paying. So let's say for every $100 that you're paying, $2 of that used to be interest. But now we go all the way up to $8 of that being interest. So, take a regular home mortgage on, let's say, a $500,000 home. You be looking at 2%, somewhere around in the neighborhood of $1,600 to $2,000. At 8%, that number goes all the way up to about 3,000 to 3,200. So with that math, it's looking like a tough time to buy a house right now, guys. Because on the other side, the people that are selling homes aren't really lowering the prices. So we literally have a standstill in the real estate market. Absolutely nothing's going on. No homes are being sold because the rates are too high and the home prices aren't coming down. Even last year, when I was telling everybody that the rates were low, the home prices were going up really, really crazy. So it kind of balanced out. If you got a home at a good interest rate, I hope you like it because we are locked in for the next 30 years for the most part, guys. It makes no sense right now for anybody unless you just have to move. And to me, even if you're moving, I wouldn't purchase a house. I would rent the house out that I have a loan on, and I would rent somewhere else because it makes no sense if you have an interest rate at 2% to sell that house and go into an interest rate of 7%, which is even at tier one credit, really the best that you're gonna get right now. So yeah, man, it's a stalemate. Check on your real estate people, man. Check on your realtors. I had a lot of real estate friends, colleagues, guys that I'm really cool with that did some big numbers in the past couple of years, but that's slowing down right now. Not a lot of action. It's a feast and famine kind of industry, and this isn't the same type of situation as 2008. So if you remember back in 2008, we had a really big real estate crisis, real estate crash in terms of the prices of real estate dropped, exponentially in a very short period of time. So a lot of people are wondering, is that something that's going to happen in the same way today? Um, Man, it has a possibility. At some point, something has to give. And the Fed doesn't seem like, they're chasing after the inflation that's going on right now. So, they're not even looking at where real estate is per se in terms of lowering down their interest rate. They're really just trying to get inflation down. And to be honest with you, I think I got Jerome should have just pulled the band-aid off, man. Like we should have raised this interest rate a lot quicker, made the inflation go down a lot quicker, and that way we could have just, if we got to have a recession, which by all accounts, for every way that a recession has been defined in previous years or previous history, we are in one. But, you know, Democrats have changed the definition currently right now, so maybe we're not in one. But regardless, it seems that people aren't acting as strongly as they need to act, and that's a sense of the times, a sense of who's in power right now, and the way that the government's set up. So yeah, man, if you're in real estate, I would keep your eye on it. I would look for the opportunities out there, because there are going to be a lot of buying opportunities in the coming future. I mean, to me, the only option that sellers have or are going to have is to lower pricing. And when they lower that pricing, if you have the ability to get into something on a cash basis or a hard money loan, that's the time in which that a lot of money can be made. When people are in distress or when the market is in distress, is a time that if you're set up and you have what we call the boat loaded, which means you're prepared and ready with cash reserves in order to make the best investment possible, that's the best time to hop into the real estate market, man. So yeah, keep your eyes open and keep looking out, guys, man. It might be a great opportunity out there for y'all. So let's go. Okay. What else we got? What else we got? Let me see. Y'all want to do sports? Y'all want to get into sports real quick? Quick Lamar Jackson update, man. I don't know about these contract negotiations, man. Like, number one, I don't see them coming to an agreement like between Lamar and the Baltimore Ravens. This is why like it's such a catch-22 rocking a hard place type of situation. Like, no athlete should need an agent, but every athlete needs an agent. I mean, anytime with these type of negotiation process where it's not your forte, I mean, with anything, right? Like, for the most part, 99.9% of people are only good at one thing. So if you're an excellent athlete or you're excellent at basketball, football, it's highly unlikely that you're going to be a great negotiator as well. That's just not in the cards for, most people. That it's not even a reasonable thing to think about. But at the same time, a lot of athletes have been in positions where they've gotten taken advantage of by the agents. So man, I'm not saying Lamar needs to go to Drew Rosenhaus or one of these big guys like that, but man, this is when it would be awesome to have some black leadership. Okay. Like, this is when I really look out at the landscape and see that there's no black leadership in place. Because at the end of the day, there at least should be somebody to scoop up Lamar and say, hey, man, let me handle this for you. Let me do the talks. Let me do the negotiation. Because anytime that you're going in between two parties, man, like, it's better to have that person that can buffer some of the talk, right? Talking to somebody directly about specifically what they have going on is a very difficult thing for somebody, to handle. Because let's face it, for you to be an excellent athlete, for you to be at the top, very top of your game, you have to have one of the biggest egos possible. And that's understandable because you have to have that belief in oneself in order to even go out there and win an MVP like Lamar has won. So, with having that type of ego, you can't sit around and hear any of the negatives that have to go with what you have going on, even if they have some relatively like they're based in truth, right? It needs to be given to you in a way that's digestible. And the person that's negotiating with you can't give you that in a digestible way. They're trying to give it to you in the least digestible way possible in order for them to get the best deal possible. At the end of the day, the Baltimore Ravens is a business. They have to pay a reasonable price for in exchange for the value that they're getting. And that's an understandable thing in contract negotiations. Let's face it, man. The Browns really messed up. They messed up the market. And, given all of the guaranteed money that they gave up, which Deshaun's probably worth it. I think he's going to be worth it. It skewed the market so much that I think teams are at a stalemate right now. Like, I want to see what Joe Burrow's contract negotiation is going to look like. I mean, don't tell me this just because Lamar's a black quarterback. I mean, he's shown he can throw from the pocket. This isn't a no offense. This isn't a Michael Vick type of situation. I mean, he's proven himself in terms of being able to have longevity, and he's still a very, very, very young guy, which is another reason why he shouldn't be negotiating for himself. I mean, it's there's no way possible I could have negotiated a great deal at 25 years old, especially if my main profession was to be a professional athlete. This is also why LeBron's situation was so special. That he had those guys in his corner that ended up being the right guys to be in his corner. I would love to see that for more of our black athletes, for more of our athletes to be able to have a circle around them that can handle the things that they don't need to be focused on. The thing about it is so many athletes have gotten taken advantage of that they feel like they have to be focused all across the board. But man, it's a tough situation. I think Lamar's going to end up going to a different team, different location, different place. I would love to see him, in a location where, man, I couldn't even, I don't even know where else I could see Lamar. I mean, I know you know, the Patriots owner has come out, coming at Bill Belichick saying he would want him, but no, the Patriots is not the right organization. I don't know what the right organization would be. I would think the right organization would quite honestly be the Ravens. It's just, man, it's a terrible the way that this whole situation is wound up. So man, we wish Lamar the best. We hope that everything's gonna work out for the best. Lamar, man, hey, if you need me, hit my line. I got some negotiation tactics. I think we can work it out. I think we can find something, set something up for you, my brother. But yeah, man, it's gonna take some real political moves. Really putting it together in the right way. And quite honestly, it could still work with the Ravens if there was the right intermediary piece to get both sides into the right place that they need to be. They say that they're $100 million away, but I'm thinking that's over the length of time with the contract. I mean, when I was negotiating the car business, we had a beautiful saying meet me in the middle. At the end of the day, if that can be done, you know, no one walks away 100% happy from a good deal, but a good deal does give each party some of what they want. So that's what negotiation is. So hey man, Lamar, like I said, hit me, call my phone. What else we got in sports, guys? What else should we talk about in sports? I know the NBA is going on. The NBA needs to hurry up and get to the playoffs. Like the regular season is entirely too long. Like nobody cares, NBA. Like Adam, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. You have to make this more interesting, my brother. Like I don't even know how you buy. I was about to buy tickets to a couple of NBA games, right? And I didn't even buy the tickets. I didn't even want to go because I don't know who's going to be sitting out. I'm not spending my money to put my feet on court side, the triple referee for the main players not to be out there playing. And I'm not buying season tickets. I don't know what day I might want to go to a game. But if I randomly get up and decide that I want to go spend my hard-earned money to go to an NBA game, man, if the player that I'm coming to see is sitting, he's not hurt, he just tired. Like he's not hurt. He just tired. Like he need a break from his job, but his job isn't year round. So I, it doesn't work. It doesn't line up. Like if there's too many games, then just don't play that many games. Like it has to be cutting into the market share. Like literally, nobody is interested in the NBA regular season for the most part anymore. So get to the playoffs or make the regular season make it more enjoyable. Make it more just better, guys. Just better. Like I know that they're looking at Adam for the Disney CEO job. We'll see. I don't see it. I'm a David Stern guy, and I know David had his ways, but David put some moves together. David Stern put some plays together for the NBA. Like he made the NBA what Adam Silver is riding off of right now. And what are y'all gonna do? LeBron's about to retire. LeBron's about to be out of here. I mean, LeBron has been giving y'all, I mean, magic for decades. Like it's almost. I mean, they got to give LeBron a team. They got to give him a team. Not, I mean, not give him a team, but give him a team. Like he deserves that. I mean, really, I don't know why. LeBron, come get the Hornets. Come get the Hornets from Jordan right now. As a matter of fact, go ahead, trade yourself to the Hornets right now. Buy the team, play for the team. Draft your son to the Hornets. Come to Charlotte. Pull up, Brian. Brian, call me. Call me. I got Mike. We was kicking in smoke cigars the other day. It was cool. We'll set it up. Okay. Charlotte Hornets, LeBron James. Right. I mean, I got it. I put it together. I put it together, man. I be putting the plays together, man. What else are we talking about today? I'm done with sports. That's all I got on sports, man. All I got on sports. What up, man? We do some news that's going on right now. What's popping in the news, man? Ooh, this is dicey. This is dicey, man. Well, all right. Man, you got to be careful out there, guys. Got to be careful. Whew. Jonathan Majors has run into a little bit of an issue. He has been arrested. It is looking a little crazy, man. When you get success going for you, man, you have to have the ability to have discernment out here, man. Like you really have to start watching the environments and situations that you put yourself into, man, because that's a tough one, man. It looks like he's been arrested up in New York. I'm trying to get the article pulled up right now for you guys, but overall, man, he's in a tough situation, and it's not a lot of details, not a whole lot of details that have come out about it. But at the same time, man, like you really have to look at it, as objectively as possible, because I mean it's something that's a serious thing. Let's see. Major was arrested on Saturday in Manhattan. Um, on several assault and harassment charges, according to the Manhattan DA's office. In the complaint, the unnamed female accuser claims the defendant did strike her about the face with an open hand, causing substantial pain and a laceration behind her ear. She also claims he put his hand around her neck, causing bruises and substantial pain. Major was arrested on Saturday in Manhattan in an alleged domestic dispute. He was charged with several counts of assault in the third degree, 3 counts of attempted assault in the third degree, 1 count of aggravated harassment in the second degree, and 1 count of harassment in the second degree. Whoa. I mean, that looks like a laundry list, man. That looks like it's some sort of book that's being thrown, or statement that's definitely being made. Man, like I was saying, the word of this year for myself and my guys that we rolling with is discernment. Once you have something to lose, you have to act like it. You have to put yourself in the right situations and have the ability to discern or decide or have the right risk assessment for the situation that you're putting yourself into, right? So take myself in venture capital. Anytime that I'm investing into a business or wanting to buy a business, I'm looking at it and assessing the risk or the amount of money that I have to spend in order to purchase a piece of the business or the whole business, and what's the upside of the risk that I'm taking. Like of how much potential do I truly see in this situation for being, a blessing on me and my family's life. So when you're looking at something, you truly have to make a good solid decision. And is this too risky? Is this too much, man? His attorney has disputed the claim, saying that Jonathan Majors is completely innocent and is providing and is probably the victim of an altercation with a woman he knows. Domestic, man, the domestic situations are tough, man. Like, talking to my fellas, my guys, man, like you got to remove yourself from any situation anytime it gets testy, heated. You know, don't do arguments. Don't do back and forths. Conversations are one thing. A- Anybody that you love and care about should have the right to be able to talk to you and get an understanding with you about anything. But you know, when you get to a certain point in life and you really, I'll say it, man. I don't have you money, but I do have we're not going back and forth money, right? Like it's just you stop arguing. Like, people are going to have their opinions, their feelings, their stances, their hills that they're going to die on. It's a bad phrase, but they're going to have their views on life, and a lot of that is based upon where they you know the angles and where they come from in life, and their perspective. And you do have to have empathy with people, but at the same time, sometimes you have to agree to disagree on situations, okay? And anytime that love is involved, or high emotions involved, man, as a guy, you truly have to remove yourself from those situations in order to prevent something like this from happening. Because when there's only two people in a room, it is what has always been known as he said, she said, or however that you want to put it. There's no way to, specifically be able to know what happened, at the end of the day. So with that, man, I just want to use it as an example for my guys out there that when you're getting successful and things are going right, you really have to put yourselves only in the right situations. Because we can look at another example, Troy Ave and Taxstone. Taxstone just got sentenced to, I mean, I think what, a couple decades or a decade, um, for a situation that really didn't have to be what it was. Um, with that, you got to decide if you're putting yourself in the right predicaments, man. Like, is this concert worth going to? Like, am I really getting enough out of this situation when I know it's going to involve an environment with people that I have problems with? I have problems with me. To me, you got to create your own environment, man. Create your own universe, create your own circle, and insulate yourself. Especially, man, Taxstone had one of the most successful podcasts rolling in a time where podcasts were really taking off. Like, if you look at the money that $1 million worth of game is getting right now, I mean, quite honestly, Taxstone was in that position before them, and quite honestly, would have had a bigger brand, a bigger stake in the industry, and the ability to require, if not that same deal, a bigger deal. So, man, I just look at situations and say have discernment when you're moving out here, man. You really gotta look at it in the right way. So, we wish I got the best. I hope that this situation isn't as bad as it's looking like it is. But if it is, man, get yourself some help, brother. It's never the right situation ever to put your hands on a young lady at any point in time. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man. What else we got on the list here, man? That's a tough one right there, man. Oof, it's a tough one, guys, man. Make sure you guys are being smart out here and doing what you're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? So let me see. Oh, I mean, all right. Look, so can somebody tell me why? Like, why? Why, guys? Like, why can't Beyonce sell clothing? Beehive, don't kill me. Please don't kill me. I don't want any beef. I want no smoke with you guys. Best musician of all time, greatest, greatest, greatest. Got to give it up to her. But for some reason, Beyonce just can't move units when it comes to clothing, and I don't get it. I mean, the story is that Adidas and Beyonce are splitting ways when it comes to the Ivy Park line. I remember when Ivy Park came out, it was, a lot of hype that came with it, but it just never really connected. And we genuinely, I mean, we got to give Kanye credit where credit is due, and Rihanna, because for somebody that has more cachet and I would say more influence than a Kanye or Rihanna. Like, Kanye really moves units and Rihanna really moves units. Like, why is this not Fenty? Why is this not Yeezy? Like, when I really look at it, I think it comes down to the fact of, like, Kanye touches the clothing. You can feel it. The customer feels the product when it comes from these influencers, in terms of they see them interacting with the product. They really feel like Kanye is giving them, even though he's not designing everything himself, he's working with the designers and he's coming with a culmination of different inspirations from different places and putting those all together to give you the best product possible. And the same thing with Rihanna. They got an angle. They have a product that is has the ability to touch people. Because let's face it, guys. Like, influence gets eyes on products. It doesn't sell products. Good products sell products. So if we look back at the history, I mean, let's look at House of Darion. Like, it just wasn't good. Like, we have to really take a step back and examine it in the fact of Beyonce needs something that's going to move the people the same way that her music does. I know that Adidas is looking at it and saying, hey, as we look at the numbers, man, especially with Ye moving, having a break with Ye and looking at the bottom line, I know they was like, whew, this check is due quarterly. Beyonce wants some money. That check's coming quarterly. Like, it's no games being played. But sometimes we gotta reallocate. Sometimes As you know, in the business sector right now, there's a lot of layoffs going on. But when you can't lay off people, sometimes you got to lay off. Even in your personal life, you got to lay off of things. Like you might have to lay off of the entertainment. You might have to lay off of the eating out when when it comes time to really tighten the ropes and get to it. So I know Adidas is looking at the bottom line and saying, "Hey, man, if the units is not moving, we still have to pay Beyonce's fee. So this isn't making sense on our bottom line." I know Beyonce is keeping her is keeping the Ivy Park name and the Ivy Park brand. I think that's something that still could do numbers, but it's going to take a designer coming in, maybe somebody like, I don't know, Super Roper, uh, you know, Rich the God, somebody like that. And I know Rich is from that Texas area, so that essence would really vibe, I think, with the fan base and the culture and the what Beyonce could bring to the table. But I mean, if we not seeing Beyonce in the fresh and the vibe, like what are we talking about? We see Ye in it, like we at least got to see the crew. Like it has to be that level of dope, that level of fresh that even she has to throw it on, So that's the connection that people are really looking for. And I think in the future, with the right partnerships, the right collaboration, that connection can really be made. And hey man, since we on the topic of fashion right now, shout out to Crafted. I got on the Black Creators shirt, the Black Creators polo right now, man. If you're looking for some fresh, this is it right here, man. Like if you're a creator, you want to support a creator, or just get out there and get some fresh into the world, man. It's the polo for you. It's man, the fabric's good. Like the same way that we do all of our products, we tried and tested it. It's the most excellently crafted. So check out the website craftedby.com, CRFTDBY. Check us out, man. It's a nice movement, man. It's a really good thing. What else we got on the list? What else we talking about today? Oh man, okay. Now we see it's a lot of rebranding going on right now. We're gonna call it rebranding. Black China is hitting us with a rebranding. I was just talking about it on the podcast I had with my boy Tay and my boy Davis. Like it's a time in which, I mean, let's face it, man. Women that have OnlyFans, people that have OnlyFans have kids that are coming of age, right? And we know what happens when kids get, into that age that we joan and we talking, which jokes back and forth, however you call it. Like that's what happens when, you're a kid. That's a rite of passage. That's something that's, you know, sharpens the wit, shows you what the competition is in terms of verbal competition. And man, it's sad to say when you got a mom or a dad even that's on the OnlyFans and you going back and forth. Whew, mm, I can't imagine it. I genuinely can't imagine what that would be like. So Black China's hitting us with the rebrand, and I can't hate on anybody that finds God and finds the word of God and wants to change their life. Let's face it, man. Like that's what life is about. At the end of the day, at some point in life, you reach a crossroads in which you got to make a decision on what type of person that you want to be. But I hope that this is evidence in which that people do what I always talk about, and I study the game tape. Like you gotta study the game tape, people. This is the game tape. Like, are the influences that you looking at that are influencing you? How is that story really ending? Are you looking at the end of the story, or are you only looking at the first and second quarter? Because we all know that halftime isn't the end of the game. Like halftime is only that's the first part. But is what they did in the first two quarters of the game or the first part of the game, how does that affect the end of it? Did they waste all their stamina? Did they do something that injured themselves that kept them from finishing the game? Like it's imperative and important that you study the people that you want to take advice from and that you want to influence your life and that you want to follow after. Because at the end of the day, having good influence and good people around you and good role models really allows you to skip steps in this game. I have to give a big shout out to my mom and dad because they were great influences on me. They gave me great examples and just great ways to move in life in which that I could skip steps and get to where I wanted to be faster. The quickest way to the point that you want to get to is a straight line. So zigzagging and going in different areas and taking detours, that's gonna slow down the progress. And hey man, look. Hey, by all means, I'm guilty as well. I've taken my own detours. I've had my missteps, but at the end of the day, when you're really studying the game tape and studying how to put it together, you learn how to, truly have that discernment that we've been talking about. The whole episode, the whole pod, man. So yeah, man, we're gonna end it right there. We're gonna take off right there. Look, if you need a rebrand or whenever you want to rebrand, you have the ability to do that. You can wake up tomorrow and be the person that you genuinely want to be. It you know, doesn't take making it a big deal, doesn't take making it a big thing. Like, you might not be able to see exactly how to get to that point, but if you can see the next step, take that step, man. Hit your rebrand, get going, get rolling, and make sure you stay crafty, man. Stay locked in with us, crafty. Let's go. One.